So since these are grouped, now I'm going to get a level to the aux and make sure I have some headroom to EQ. I don't want to distort it, and I don't want to leave myself no room to work. Unless, of course, you're going for a distorted sound. But I'm going to use 2 plugins. The SSL Waves channel, I really like the compressor.
Yeah.
And then Channel Strip, which is my favorite EQ of all time.
This one?
Yeah. A little bit of the chest low end, you feel on your chest, and a little bit of the sub. A little bit of that click. Now that's a little bit more click than I want, but I'm kind of anticipating the rest of the mix and it cutting through, and I'll probably end up wanting even more. So we're going to start there. So, you know what I'm going to do before that EQ? Let's try dirty it up a little more. Let's use Decapitator. Actually, you hear a little bit of grit, but you also hear a little bit of sustained lengthening of the drum. Okay. Let's jump over to where the snare comes in. Let's see. Great sounding snare.
Yeah.
There's our bottom snare. Now the funny thing about snare drums is that sounds great. The bleed isn't even that bad from the other drums.
No.
If I really want to be picky, I could gate some of that. I'm actually going to leave it natural so all the little ghosting comes through. One thing about the 2 and the 4 hit though is, as nice as that snare drum is, it's going to get smaller and lost in the mix. So you really have to in my opinion, make drums larger than life.
So they can cut through.
So they cut through. So when they're soloed, they're just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to add, again, like the kick, I'm going to add a sample. What is this? This is, okay. I forget which library this is. I think this is That Sound library. Ben Phillips.
Do these samples come in phase already, or do you sometimes have to?
No, you have to check the phase.
You have to. Yeah.
And sometimes, depending on the trigger point and how it's reading the attack of your drum that you're trying to trigger, it won't get in phase. So you might have to track it down to an audio and then slide the region to get it perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, I just chose this. That's called 90s Kid Natural. It's got lots of velocities and let's see. I didn't do any tuning and didn't do any phasing. It was actually worked. So I just set my my detail so it picks up mostly just the 2 and 4. I'm not really concerned with the ghost notes. Those are going to come through on the bottom snare and the natural top snare. So let's hear it. I'll add it in as it's playing. So it's just power, pure power.
Yeah.
So I'll group these. And again, we're gonna give these their own aux so that we can EQ or compress them as a group. I don't compress snares too often. I like them natural.
Really?
It depends on the program. Music is different, but with live snares, especially with that sample, it's so punchy and it's he's bashing. I mean, if you were to equate it to MIDI, he's 127 all the time, just full volume. So except for his ghost notes, we don't really need too much compression unless we're trying to make it even punchier. But I think we've got plenty of punch going on.
Do you remember if there was any compression going in when you were tracking it?
No, going in, we with the kick and snare, I believe it was just mic pre's straight to straight to Pro Tools. Let's see. So they're 21. Sorry. Overheads. So overheads are really nice, really good image. I'm actually going to bring it in a little bit. Those were the Lewitt large diaphragm mics.
Yeah.
I'm going to use an outboard compressor. See how that sounds on these. I have these two Dakin compressors. They're solid state. They're FET. They're really fast. I'm making it a little more snappy and grabby on those overheads. Now let's clean up some of the frequencies. So I took out a little kind of the upper mid-range nasally harsh area, a little bit of the mud, and then I filtered out the deep lows that we really weren't getting any benefit from. Wasn't helping the kick drum or anything. So we just cut that out, make it cleaner.
No, right.
Let's check the hi-hat. Hi-hat, same thing. We can clean up those lows. he's not heavy-handed on the hi-hat. Some guys really bash the hi-hat, and I'll end up compressing that. Might even have to go in and do rides because they'll hit it soft on the verses and then just kill it. This drummer is really consistent. It sounds really nice through the song.
Yeah. Hey Bob.
Yeah.
Someone's asking a question. What monitors we're using to listen?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to get a picture. We're using these ginormous Ausberger speakers.
Yeah.
They have an 18 at the bottom, a 15, and then a horn, both sides. 1,000 watts, 1,000 watts, 500, so 25 per side, 5,000 watts total.
They can blow you away, probably.
They can kill you, give you a chest concussion. Even with earplugs, they get louder than I can stand it. The funny thing is they're not soffit mounted in the wall; they're freestanding, and they're tuned in so nicely in this room, and they just match the room so well that I can mix on them, even super low level to where it's barely audible, and hear reverbs and panning and detail. It's amazing. They've totally replaced near fields for me. Which is kind of amazing. I've never had that happen with big speakers, but these do.
It's probably these in this room, you know.
Yeah, it's just a magical combination. We got lucky, but I use that, and then I use these Avantones. They're kind of like your television reference, laptop reference, a lot less low end, you know.
Great. Yeah.
And I have some other speakers in the back, but I don't really use those anymore. So it's mainly just the Ausbergers, 99%.